What up, everybody? Tommie
What
Run.
up? What up?
It is the PR project.
And did I mess up the intro that quick?
What's your name?
I'm Aaron. Nice to meet you.
I'm Tommie. I think we just do name tags for now on.
Hello, my name is.
Hello, my name is Tommie Run. What up, everybody? PR project episode number 7. Um, today's a good day because today's Sunday. Today's Sunday, roughly around 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We do this every week, and thank you so much for UCAN. They are the sponsors for this show. The PR project is fueled by UCAN. You know, you get
You
that?
can.
Yeah, because you can. UCAN is a sports nutrition product, and a lot of them are normally filled with sugar, fast carbs, stimulants, and stuff like that. That's real short lived. Caffeine, although dope, I'm never going to be able to say this without saying caffeine is dope. Like coffee is amazing. And sugar highs, they just don't last, and you end up either crashing in a workout or right before. Never fun. But UCAN has a really great ability with their super starch to have a slow, steady release of energy throughout the workout or just throughout your day. Blood levels, blood sugar levels, and that's how the company actually started. Was this research about blood sugar levels, and blood sugar levels, if maintained properly, just keep that energy flowing. And I've just become a fan of it. I tried it obviously, and they're the sponsor of the show, but been really using it a lot in our training. Anything over 8 miles, where I'm using it around 4 or 5 miles or so, just to kind of get used to the feeling of it, because I'm planning on running Boston with it. So practice makes your body, comfortable with it. So I've been using it a lot and just loving all the products. Kind of found out how to do the energy powder beforehand though, because like I was doing too close to the run and then having to like pee 5 times during the run. But then now I'm getting better at it. So that's all. That's pretty dope. And you too, you can as well. Um, get some PR project. You can get some UCAN as well for 20% off if you go to ucan.co and use code PR project, 20% off, and you good. Put the code in, get your money off, and then thank us later.
Yeah. And you don't even have to send us the difference. Like that's just us looking out.
Yeah, I know. Like, well, I mean, if you want to send us like 5% of it, I mean, that's on you. That's on
You're
you.
not obligated to do that. It would be very nice,
But you
but you're not
can.
obligated to that. You can.
You can.
Absolutely, you
All right, man. I think we. I feel like every time we start that, like you can't say be like, this isn't the vibe we want.
can.
All
Say,
right, man.
you guys can't actually.
You can, but you can't. Whatever. But thanks, guys, for being on the show. Today, we're going to be talking about setting goals. Goals setting is a really big thing. I used to think it was when I was younger. I used to be like, yeah, I got it in here. It isn't no big deal, and it wasn't. I didn't put a lot of focus on it. And today, watching the one of the races, a lady broke the 10K road world record, women's world record, and she and I was just watching it like, wow, like they had the world record banner ready for her. That it was a big deal going into the whole concept and going into the race. So she obviously had this goal from the start of it, and that was kind of what got me thinking about setting goals and why they are important. And I brought this up to Aaron on the run today, and you kind of had a not interesting, but like you had to take like, hey, I think I'm gonna just go at it like boom, smart. But if you could kind of like just jump into that with me, because I think I like the way
Okay.
that you're rolling it out to me on the run. So
Okay.
please do.
So this is something I kind of familiarized myself with through the Luke Humphrey Running Hanson's Marathon Method book. They lay out a concept called SMART goals, and SMART is an acronym uh, for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. So these are all tenets that when you're setting goals, you should keep in mind. So you want to set it. I'll go back to early on in my running career and my running journey. Um, I was just kind of training, just kind of doing whatever. And then I met Tommie, and Tommie was like really serious about like trying to qualify for Boston, trying to run a specific time in a marathon. And he said something that struck me. He said, if you're going to be out there training, or if you're going to be out there running that much, you might as well like be training for something. You might as well put a number down. You might as well be actually reaching out to like try to get something. And I'm like, that makes so much sense to me. So from that point on, that's when I kind of started taking training a little more serious, and I was a little more strategic about my training. So I'll go through the quick tenets of what SMART goals are specific. So pick a specific goal. If you want to hit a certain number, or if you just want to finish a certain race distance, things like that, make it specific. Don't just go out and run and say whatever happens happens. Make the goal specific. That way it's easier to hit checkpoints along the way. You'll know if you're getting closer or if you're getting further. And also when you finish, you can say, yes, I hit my goal, or no, I didn't hit my goal. And this is why. And you can kind of tailor your thinking to that. Right. So what do you think? I know that's very important to you, is choosing a specific goal. Like that is.
Yeah, well, I mean, the crazy thing is, like, I didn't think he was gonna go back to like when you first got into it in that conversation we had, and then like hearing you say what I said to you doesn't even sound like me, like especially at the time, and just running really changed like that whole concept for me of like setting goals and mapping out a plan, like, because I didn't have that like for my life really, everything just kind of happened. I'd have short term, very specific short term goals, but just like thinking about long term was weird for me. But yeah, I think that's super important to set like that big picture goal. I mean, because and that's why, like, when we talked to you, it wasn't like, hey, set a goal for tomorrow. It was like set like a race, that you want to get to, or like a time that you want to eventually get to. And a lot of times I think we get like in this moment where we go like, the next race I want to do this, and that's a goal as well. But I think that, as humans, we have so many things going on in our lives and our minds and all that stuff, that if we don't have something big enough and far enough out, then I think for me, it's easy to bounce around or change, because like, I don't really want that anymore, or you get to that really close short-term goal, and then what happens after that? Now what?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that I love the SMART acronym, because a lot of us have goals that are just so wild that you can't even measure it. There's no way to know if you're getting any closer. But I guess that's fun though, because if you don't, you could say you're getting closer, but how will you be able to like hang your hat on when you go to sleep? How do you know if you did things that day to get towards it?
Right. For
so
sure.
like, so how's like that like played out for you since like when you started saying like, this is what I want to do? Like, how did that change everything?
It kind of gave me more purpose. It almost like provided a North Star. So like, like that big goal, like that big goal of Boston, or that big goal of running a sub 4-hour marathon, if that's what you're into, if a sub 5 hour, finishing a marathon, running an ultra, anything like that. If that's your North Star, if that's like the goal that may not be attainable right now, but it's something that you're working towards, everything that you do will be in service to that larger goal. So you're able to go out with purpose, because when I first started running, I kind of was just running hard all the time, trying to run as fast as I can, because I wanted to beat what I had in the Nike app the day before.
Right.
So it's like my goals were almost in reverse. I was just trying to beat what I was doing before, rather than like working towards something ahead. So that kind of goes to the second part of the SMART goal. So it's measurable, and we're in a hobby. This is an activity, a sport that it lends itself to measurable goals. So if your goal is like, I want to run 30 miles next week, I want to finish my tempo run with a negative split tomorrow. The activity lends itself for measurable goals, because you can put a number down, you can put a mileage goal down, you can put so many different measurable goals on this activity. It very much lends itself to allowing you to be to take advantage of measurable goals, and adding that portion to your goals. And I think that's a big thing too, because it's hard to assess your improvement or areas of weakness or anything like that if you're not measuring yourself against something. So having measurable a measurable part of your goals is very important. I think so.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think it's super important because, like, I was talking to my daughter or whatever, and it's like if it's not measurable and you can't say whether you did it or you did or didn't do that thing. I mean, the importance of like having measurable goals is not to only just achieve them every time that you set out. It's to fail at them as well, like to so you have a way to say I didn't do that thing.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen today or this week or this month. So you know where you are, where you truly are, like and like you said, like your North Star, like directions to go, like to trip to California from here. Like where you want to go, but there's a lot of things that have to happen, in between that. Like you got to turn here, turn there, and they're super measurable because if you turn right, instead of the left, on that street, then you'll know, like eventually, like you may have to, it'll redirect you, but it's very measurable. Like you did not do that well,
Absolutely.
So that's perfect.
So, and this is a perfect segue into the next portion. T. Davis says, yeah, I agree. You have to know yourself and be honest when setting goals. Don't set a goal to qualify for the Olympics if you haven't broken 3 in a marathon. It's just not reasonable. Mm-hmm. So the A in SMART goals is achievable. So you want to set goals that are achievable. As T. Davis said, you don't want to, if you started running last week, you don't want to say, well, I want to qualify for the 2024 Olympics. Mm-hmm. Because that's probably not an achievable goal, mm-hmm. or at least an achievable goal in the short term. Like that is kind of outside the realm of possibility. So you want to set achievable goals. That way you don't always feel let down because, man, I didn't make the Olympics. Right. It's like realistically, it's not a thing.
Yeah, and I just that's a huge part of it for me. But then I just don't want people to get, or anyone to get like thrown off by that, by saying like, oh well, you're supposed to shoot for the stars and have big goals and stuff like that. And something being attainable or achievable doesn't mean that doesn't mean everyone around you has to say, yeah, that's good for you. Like it can still be like an outlandish like reach. It can be, it can be crazy to other people. But if you truly believe in it, I mean, and it is within reality, then yeah, like if you ran cross country your whole life and you just have it in a few years and you were headed in the right direction, and you want to say I want to qualify for the Olympic trials, and you got 4 years to do it, then maybe that's achievable. But for me, it isn't. And right. But I can say other things that maybe if I told the wrong or right person, they'd say I was crazy. But so I just don't want to think people to say like, oh, we'll set the bar low. That's setting something achievable or attainable doesn't mean you have to set the lowest bar so that you feel comfortable or that somebody else feels comfortable. It's really just to make sure that you're not like, you know what, I'm flying to the moon next year. Promise. Like it's not, unless you are like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, or like whoever, some of these other people, you ain't flying to the moon, bro. You're just not,
Right. So yeah, and like you said, an achievable goal doesn't mean an easy goal. Yeah. An achievable goal doesn't mean you're shortchanging yourself. It just means that you're setting a goal that is within reason. Mm-hmm. And once you hit that goal, that doesn't mean you're done. That doesn't mean like you can't set another goal after that. Yep. But it's much, I know for me throughout this training block in the past, mm-hmm. when I set goals that are a little too lofty, I tend to miss on workouts. I tend to like, quote unquote, lose workouts. And in my brain, that really bothers me because it's like, okay, I went out to do this and I didn't hit the numbers. I didn't do what I thought I could do. And it's kind of like a snowball. It's like you take that negative experience and it kind of rolls into the next day of training and rolls into the next day of training. Whereas if your goal is really achievable and you plot out a strategy to get to that achievable goal, you'll have more wins along the way. And that positive energy, it just keeps going. It's like a snowball in the other direction. Mm-hmm. And you build the confidence, you build the belief within yourself that you can do it. Mm-hmm. And eventually that'll pay off in the long term and you'll hit that achievable goal and you'll feel confident in being able to set another goal. Whereas if you set a goal that might be unachievable and you don't reach it, your likelihood of setting another goal might be a little lower, because it's like, why would I set another goal if I didn't even reach the one that I just set out to do? So that is extremely important. And that is a good segue into the next part of the SMART goals, which is the R, which is relevant. So is this goal relevant to you? Is this something that you really want? Is it something that you wake up every day thinking about? Is it something that no matter what happens, I know Tommie a few days ago flew to Arizona. He came back, he flew back, and his goal is so relevant to him. He got off the plane, he ran into traffic. He was texting us like, I'm on my way, because we had a 10-mile easy run to do. And he could have easily been like, this day isn't going how I wanted to go. I traveled today. I didn't get much sleep, whatever. We actually met at the bowling alley because his daughter had a bowling tournament. You know what I'm saying? Just a lot of things going on that you could have just chucked it. You could have just like chalked it up as a L and said, you know what, I'll just skip the run today. But your goal is so relevant to you. You found the time and you found the energy to take care of what you needed to take care of in order to service that goal.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. Yeah,
no, for sure.
Yeah, I think that because irrelevant is also rewarding, and it's like, even though, like, because if you really if you set the right goal, that is that's far out there, it's a big goal, it's going to take a lot, it's going to ask a lot of you, but then the thought of it is that rewarding to you and relevant to you, and makes you just feel like you're going somewhere. It's so easy to make the decision to go do, to go, check check this thing off the box. And to an extent that because you want to actually sometimes have to like talk yourself away from it. Like, hey, look, it's you got to give yourself some grace sometimes and say, you know what, it's, it'll be okay. Like, I'm not saying that like what I did yesterday was cool and it just like happened to work out. But there's other situations where it's like, hey, this isn't the day, and maybe for good reason. Like, I've missed days and workouts for many other reasons, but then that still comes full circle, because you still have to, like, injury for runners, that people are so obsessed with like this one goal, breaking 3, breaking 4, breaking 5, whatever it is, or getting to Boston, that they'll run themselves into like this hole, an injury, even though we see it coming. We'll just keep going because that goal is so important to us. But then outside there, in the smart tenants or whatever, there's no one that says like, hey, sometimes you gotta think about the big picture. Like, because the big picture is the most important thing, not necessarily today. And I want to talk about that too, but let's get through the R and the T, or get through the T at the end of this thing here. But I'd love to talk about like day to day, how to work through these, because I thought I had something today that came up.
Well, that's perfect, because the T in the SMART goals is timely. So you want to set goals that are, you want to put a boundary on the time of your goal.
Yeah, time bound.
A lot of people say, I want to do X or I want to do Z. I know for me, in life, just when I got out of high school, I said, I want to graduate college. I didn't really like put a time goal on it or anything like that. It was just like, I want to graduate college. 10 years later, I graduated college.
I did it.
That wasn't the way I planned on it, but that's how it happened. But when you're setting that goal, you might want to attach a time to it. So you might want to, okay, these are my 6-month goals. These are my 1-year goals. These are my 3-year goals. These are my 5-year goals. And that's something you can do in running. And running also, as I was saying earlier, it lends itself a little better to this specific thing, because we set up our training in blocks. If you're doing it, I'm not going to say doing it the right way, but if you're doing it in a way that is a little more proven, you want to set up your training in blocks of time. So that allows you to make your goals timely, because usually when you have a training block, there's a goal at the end of it, whether it's a finish a certain distance goal, whether it's a time goal, anything like that. But I'm going to do a 12-week plan. I'm going to do a 8-week plan. I'm going to do a 16-week plan. But at the end of that plan, this is the goal that I want to do in the race. And then the same thing, you can you can put a time on a Boston qualifier if
Yeah,
that's what you're trying to do. You can
yep.
say, well, I want to qualify for Boston within the next 2 years. I
Yep.
want to qualify for Boston before I turn 40. I want to qualify for Boston before I turn 50. And that time allows you to lay out a more strategic and specific plan on how to get to that goal. Because if your goal is just, I want to qualify for Boston someday, it might be tough to set up a specific roadmap to get there.
And you can totally, like, if you say that with no time frame around it, you could totally go qualify for, next year or whatever. But it's just the point of having the time on it is, to kind of create that sense of urgency, that sense of like commitment, and drive to make it happen within the time frame. What is it, like Parkinson's law? Like, the work will fill the amount of time, something like that. Like, so if somebody says you got like 2 weeks to finish this report or this project, a lot of times you're going to take, 13 and a half days to get to that, finish it. But in reality, if you broke out all that time and, kind of got rid of the crap in the middle, you could have probably done this project in 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't remember exactly how it works, but look up Parkinson's law. I mean, because that's like the concept. And if you think about it, we do it all the time. Like we take as much time as we need to do everything as long as we have the time to do it. But like talking about Boston, like in the time bound, concept is like after in 2019, I was like, I want to qualify for Boston 2021. Like that was a very specific time. It was like 2 years or so from there. Very unrealistic for me at the time because like I just didn't have the track record to prove it. But I felt like with some of the numbers that I was doing, like in halves and 5Ks and stuff, that with like the proper training, I could figure this thing out. And it was extremely time bound because like I needed to do it by by 2020, like by the September of 2020. So like I had to make sure all this stuff happened. And I think that the right goal is a big picture goal like that, far enough out where you can actually make it happen. But then it makes you find ways to start chipping away, because every big picture goal should have like these smaller targets. And whether the smaller target is a month of something that you got to do or a training block, 16 weeks, multiple training blocks to get there. Because it's not like you're just going to sit on the couch until, the next race to go qualify. You're going to do a couple training blocks or 6 training blocks within the next 2-3 years. So you're ready for that one race that you really wanted to, or that year that you're trying to qualify for the race or trying to qualify for, Olympic trials qualifiers. We know somebody that's trying to get to the Olympic trial qualifiers now, and she has like 2.5 years or so to really get to the point where she can do that. And then also, I would assume she wants to qualify and then also run it well. So she has all this time. And so imagine like how many miles and training blocks she's going to go through. And those are all small targets in their own. She's going to have races in between all these training blocks that are also small goals that she wants to hit, and then boil that down too to like one day at a time, because it's really important though. Like, it's like today, you mentioned, I forgot exactly what you said, but kind of triggered it. It was like today. So today we did this 14-mile long run, 3 miles at was a warm up, 8 miles at goal marathon pace, 3-mile cool down. And Aaron picked this really amazing route, and the first all the hills started in the first 3 miles of the goal marathon pace. And somewhere in there, like I was, like swimming uphill. Like it was just like, it was just tough. Like, and I didn't know like how long the hills were going to keep going, but I had a thought for a second, like, yo, like I'm only on mile 4, and how can I do this for 26.2 miles? And right at that moment, I was right at my goal marathon pace. I was okay, but I'm like, I can't do 21 more miles of this. Like I just can't. Like, I mean, I don't think I can. And like just that quick though, I was like, but today's goal is 8 miles at this pace, and you're doing that great, and that's it. Like, because I think what you mentioned earlier about like you set like big goals like that sometimes, like you'll have like you'll bomb a workout or like fail a workout or whatever, but like I think that's because a lot of times we think about the end of the training block before, we're 7 weeks away, and it's like, I can't do this, but you're not supposed to run 26.2 miles today. You're only supposed to run 8 miles at that pace. So I think that we have to have those big goals, but we can't have them loom over us so crazy that we forget, the process to get there.
It's just it's like the idea of being present in the moment and having those checkpoints within the goals help you to be present in the moment, because it's like, okay, this checkpoint today is what I need to hit. If I hit it, great. I'm moving on I'm moving on in the right direction. Let's keep going. If you don't, you have that opportunity to reassess. Why did this happen? Where can I improve? What can I do to prevent this from happening going forward? So as long as you have that mindset of learning from your mistakes, learning from your quote unquote failures, as long as you're open to being able to do that, then eventually those goals will come to fruition. Eventually you'll find a success. Does it always happen on, that's another part of setting goals. Will they always happen on your time? Will they always happen perfectly according to plan? Probably not. But when you have that North Star, which is the big goal in mind, everything else will kind of work out around it. Whether, like the journey for you kind of got, you had to take a detour. When you got injured, you had to take a detour. But you knew eventually that you could do it. It was just being smart and understanding, okay, this injury is going to affect my journey to where I'm trying to get to. It's not going to stop me. It's not going to ruin my chances. It's just going to I'm just going to have to take a different route. And having that North Star goal, it allows you to keep moving in that direction, even when things seem bleak, even when you're in the middle of a 8-mile tempo and you're thinking in your head, like, how am I going to hold this pace for 26 miles? It's like, you're not, you can't pass a test that you're not in the chair for. Like, you're not in the chair for 26.2 miles today. You were in the chair for 8 miles.
Thank God.
And you passed it, so it's like,
but I think that thought of pulling back to, because I mean, I know for sure, like, for a long time I thought it was just me, but I know for sure there's, all runners have these moments where it's like, where you just compare who you are today to the person that you're asking yourself to be in 4 months, 6 months, 6 weeks, whatever it is. But the only way, what got me through today was that quick, like, readjustment of what's the goal for today, like, just today. And then unfortunately there's going to be times where I can't hit the goal for just today, but then you say, okay, well, like you said, reassess, figure out what maybe went wrong, and then refocus on the next goal tomorrow, but then with the thought of the big goal in mind, because the big goal will continue to pull you forward, even when things go wrong. And then I like the way you talked about, like, the the rerouting, or like taking a different route, because if you're going, like, I always think, whenever somebody says that, I think about, like walking through like a desert in a straight line or whatever. There's gonna, say you got this mountain in front of you, like, it would behoove you to not go straight. Like, you can't just go straight up the mountain and go over and go down. Like, you may have to go other routes. It does not mean you're less. That doesn't mean anything. It just means it might just mean you're smarter.
Yeah.
That you decided to go, I'm gonna go left here, figure this out, and you might be better for it, along the way anyway. So I just think it's so important for us to give ourselves grace in those moments where we're looking at something that we just can't get over, and if we could get over, but it would probably hurt the rest of the trip. Go around, find a way that works for you, find the smart way that works, because also too, we're not in this alone. Like, when I did that run yesterday with you guys, like, I had to make sure that before I just committed to that, I had to make sure that everybody involved, like on my family side, was okay with this, like, with this moment, And then shout out to my sister though, because she came to the bowling alley, so my son could be with her and watch my daughter, and then hurry up and run and get back, because we all have these, this is outside of the goals things, but all runners and people, like, have these support system folks around that we couldn't do any of this stuff without, So shout out to my sister and shout out to Iris, my wife, all that, because without that, it would just, we can't do the stuff we do,
Yeah.
And shout out to you for you, because like there's days when, for real, like that's like we run together a lot and we go to great lengths to run together, and we did it before the show. But me having to do like to come to run to you or you come out here or whatever, it just helps those moments when you like when that like long-term goal is starting to fade a little bit. Like, yo, this is whack. But it's like, okay, well, this person I can do today at least. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool. Like you can definitely refresh your enthusiasm for your goal. I know that like a few times this training block, you've brought your iPad to the gym because we've been doing treadmill works, and you'll put the iPad on the treadmill and he'll pull up the Boston course, and it's like I can see like the excitement that you have. Like, man, I can't wait to like get to this point of the race. And it's just like I feel like that small little thing, it is like rekindles the fire within inside of you to be like, I'm gonna crush like Boston. This is gonna be my best race that I ever ran.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very easy to fall into the thought process of, man, am I really ready for it? Do I really want to do this and all of that? But if you can kind of like almost trick your mind into like feeling that excitement that you felt the first time you ever thought that you wanted to do it, if you can like go back and grab that, whether it is watching like the course preview or it's like looking at the medal or whatever like gives you that feeling again. Tap into it when you need it most, because that's like that North Star. That's what's gonna get you there. That's what's gonna keep you motivated. That's what's gonna like put that fire under you to be like, no, I have to go run today. I have to do this strength training today. I have to. No, I'm not gonna eat 4 more donuts. I'm just gonna have 2.
Say, the Fat Tuesday coming up. I may have a different short-term goal,
sometimes, but realistically, you have to live your life too. You don't want your goal to overtake everything in your life, because then it's almost like, I'm saying, the people that get addicted to gambling and stuff like that, like they just keep chasing that high, and they lose everything because that one feeling of, I just hit this parlay for $1,000 from 10 cents or whatever, and it's like, but was it worth your family?
Like, so sir.
So just to recap, SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. Set your goal, set goals along the way that are in service to that goal, and get after it. Like nobody else is responsible for like I was talking to somebody yesterday, shout out to Dante, and she was saying like running is so selfish. Like the idea of running and the way we train and all of that, it's a selfish thing, because no matter what, like I've never really sat down after a great workout and talked to somebody that wasn't like there or like wasn't a runner and been like, yeah, I had this workout today, I killed it, you know what I'm saying, I feel great. They just be like, okay,
right,
cool, you know what I'm saying, like, because
great. I'm so glad you told me about that.
Like that 12 by 1K workout means the world to you.
Yeah.
Maybe not everybody. What did Bruce say? That look good on you. You feel me? Like, because everybody, like most people, they're not gonna feel that same like exuberance about small things along the way. I mean, most of the time, they won't even know the difference between a 3-hour marathon and a 6-hour marathon. They'll just be like, "Oh, you ran a marathon, cool." Yeah. So like, I don't even know where I was going with that.
Yeah, you ran that 3.1 mile marathon. That's dope.
You feel me? That's what's up. Like I knew you could finish it. It's
I did a 5K. It's all good. And we're real quick though. Like I'll just leave like the goal setting thing on this. Like I think that it's super important to like to find that big goal, that thing. It could be about running. It could be about family. It could be about business. It could be about whatever it is. But then find that big goal and then reverse engineer the rest of the way back. Because like when I decided I wanted to run Boston, I didn't have a coach. I had only ran like 2 half marathons at that time. like nothing said Boston Marathon in my future,
Yeah.
I picked a big goal, and then I figured out, okay, now that I've set, and I'm a big person, I'm a big proponent of like announcing certain things, like, I mean, and sharing it with people, or maybe not on Instagram, or YouTube, but like sharing it with people that you care about, even if they don't care, just saying it out loud to kind of hold yourself accountable, and then reverse engineer that and figure out, how will I get to this point? How can I get to this point? And for me, that meant, okay, I need help, because I can't do this by my own. So I did a couple plans or whatever, didn't like with the way that was going, found a coach. And then that person knew exactly how I was going to get there, and exactly how I should go about getting there. And I think that's important too, is if you got a goal to be an entrepreneur and you want to start a business, and your big goal is to make $1 million, and your second year of business, whenever that's going to be, by this, whatever, 5 years from now, it'd be great if you found someone that's an entrepreneur in your life and you could talk to. If you're not into the mentor word, someone that you could just every now and then be around and kick it with or whatever, and not even talk about the thing, but just be around, like, that presence, because they've done it before, they know what's going on. So find that big goal, reverse engineer it, and then be prepared to do all the little stupid stuff along the way that adds up to this thing.
Yeah. You got to put those mechanisms in place that'll help you get there, because we like to believe that running is like all done. Like, I know we had this argument in the group chat, right? Running is a team sport. Running is a very individual sport, but it does take a team of supporters to get you to certain goals. So definitely put those mechanisms in place that you need, not what other people tell you need, but things that you feel like you need. So I know Tommie is really big on going down the ramp and getting massages at least once a month. That's something that he feels that he needs in order to be successful. That's a mechanism you put in place to stay healthy, to give yourself the best chance. Find what it is that you feel like you need along the way. And you won't know everything from when you start, but there's trial and error. There's, what I'm saying? Yeah, there's plenty of resources that you can read as much as you can. There's podcasts, there's YouTube, there's the PR project. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
everything is so much information out there.
We separate from YouTube. I mean, YouTube wouldn't even be what it is without this.
We like, you know what I'm saying, the 2000 halftime show, 2002 halftime show, or whichever one with the Justin Timberlake, Janet Jackson halftime show. That's what started YouTube. That was like the beginning of YouTube.
Yeah, I mean without that, YouTube wouldn't be a thing, really.
A bunch of freaks was trying to find, you know what I'm saying, trying to find that video.
Did they do it in slow motion? Did they zoom in? YouTube did.
Right. Can I rewind it? Like,
can I pause?
Wow. Crazy. So yeah, setting goals. My goal is to this. My goal is this. I'm not like you. I don't really I don't like announcing my goals. I'm on my Nike time.
Not yet. Not yet.
I'll announce my goal
after. This was my goal.
As soon as I accomplish it. As soon as I don't accomplish it, because my goals are timely. So if I don't do what I set out to do, I'm gonna be like, okay, my goal was X and I came up short. But this is not the end. We're gonna keep going.
Yeah,
keep going.
Yeah, because I made a video like in 2019. It was like a YouTube video. I was like, hey, my name's Tommie Runs. Da, da, da. I decided I'm gonna try to qualify for Boston 2021, and I did this whole video or whatever. And then after that, like, I had to do it, like, because sometimes like, that's why you don't have to use it like that, the social media vibe, but I mean, it works for a lot of people, like, putting it out there, as long as you're doing it for like a positive reason. And also too, main thing, sorry, that's the last thing on the goals thing. Whatever goal, the big goal you're setting, it has to be for the right reasons for you, and I think
you can take all that out. It has to be for you.
Yeah, it has to be. I think it has to be for. I mean, it has to be for you, but then I think it has to be for the right reason. I mean, because like if it's some things we set our minds on, like being making $1 million, like that it sounds good and it is $1 million is great, but that may not be the right. You may not be going at that $1 million for the right reason, and then because there's a lot of ways to get to that $1 million. You know what I'm saying? And that could certain ways you could be, put yourself in bad situation. But if you want that $1 million for the right reason, you'll find the right way for you to get there. And I think that's super important. Like, because if me going to Boston was just only about Boston, and it was only about like doing it so everybody could see it, I would have stopped already. I would have been stopped. You know what I mean? And it just been over. And but my goal, me wanting to do that is so intertwined with my kids, myself, just everything. It's like I didn't know it at the time, but it has so much to do with like who I am, who I want to be, who I was, all that. Yeah. So it's really important to get that right one for you.
Absolutely. So
all right, man.
Moving on. We gave them 40 minutes on goals. That was a timely conversation about goals.
I thought we were doing 15 minutes.
15, 40, hey. 15, 40. We not on network television, dog. We don't have a time slot.
We hit traffic along the way.
You feel me?
All right, so now we're gonna do what we love to do. We're gonna skip the training vibes because you guys know we run.
We ran this week.
We ran this week a couple times. We ran less miles than we did last week. That's for sure.
Yeah. Cutback week.
Boom, cutback week. Shoe case. You go.
All right. I'm up first. Yeah. Actually, we both have this shoe. We both ran in this shoe this week. It's from post team.
Wow.
Bam. It is from American Texas-based company, Atreyu. It is the base model.
There you go.
It is the base model. As you can see, both of us, we got a little dirt on there. We got some wintry mix the other day, some snow, some rain, some melting snow, some mud.
As Tracksmith is calling it, the thaw.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. That's nice.
They got like the whole line coming out, so everything's called the thaw.
Yeah. So the Atreyu base model, this is an $85 shoe.
Wow. So when they started the company, it was like about subscriptions, and you paid, I think like $50 a month or something like that, or something. And then you got one shoe every month, or like once every other month. They took the subscription part away because I think it was just getting a little too messy. But it's an $85 shoe, and they have a super shoe as well, which we've talked about on the show, that is only $100, which is insane. This is the base model, and right now they have like 3 or 4 colorways to this.
This is the most fire colorway to me personally.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, this one's nice. I mean, I like sleek mama.
Yeah, monochromatic. Yeah. You want it? Is that the base model V2? Gary, stop asking questions that I don't know the answer to, but I believe they are.
This is the base model V2, and I'm not even gonna start lying to you. The midsole is the same, I believe. Well, it's at least shaped the same, right? And the colorways are different, and it feels a lot like the other one.
So I didn't have the other one, but I will give you my quick rundown on this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Soft, kind of bouncy for a regular trainer.
I don't like the way my legs doing this shoe. I'm putting it down.
I don't know. It's too white.
Too white. Too white.
It's just too white sometimes.
It's too white.
Much like running. I like this shoe. Super light. I think it's a good everyday trainer.
Yeah.
Alexa said she went to their website and they are sold.
Oh yeah. So okay. So the thing about Atreyu is they are Austin based. They are a very small company. I mean, I think there's like 4 of them that work there, or 5. I may be wrong on that.
Small business.
But it's they get their shipments in, and then they sell out, and then you work on it again, and they sell it again. So just stay. I mean, they're definitely a good company to follow. They have an Instagram page. They're fun guys, and just stay on it. And so they'll make a drop. If you follow them on Instagram, you'll know when the drop is coming. Yeah. And then just grab a shoe.
So my only question about this $85 Atreyu base model trainer is how much miles that I can put on it before I start feeling the degradation of the shoe,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a very nice shoe, but the jury is out for me on how much I can beat this thing up. Pause. So we'll keep you posted on that, but I can see myself doing a lot of easy running in this. Maybe not workouts, maybe not a long run,
Well,
because it's a
so
very light shoe and it's a very minimal shoe. This
yeah.
upper is very minimal. There's not a lot of hard. I don't think there's any plastic in this shoe at all. It
Mm-mm.
seems like it's all either fabric or foam.
Mm-hmm.
So just not a lot of shoe, and that I could see that possibly being a problem if you take it out for a long time. You expect it to kind of hold up,
Mm-hmm.
because that extra plastic in the shoe does usually kind of provide some stability
Yeah.
and some structure. Yeah. So
Yeah.
uh,
I mean,
we'll see.
I've seen people put on, put 300 miles on them. I
I can
think,
see that.
and I think, but the point when they made the shoe wasn't for that. Like you could,
Yeah.
when you see the bottom of them, they have these little like nubs on the bottom of it, and you'll eventually be able to see, or ridges, eventually be able to see where your foot pattern.
Yeah.
You can like start to examine very closely and very apparently, like where your foot strikes, where all that stuff. You can kind of like study that. And that was like one of the things in the beginning, but they're not. I'm not speaking for the company. I don't think that. I mean, they're not. They didn't make these and say this is the invincible. It's not gonna ever break down. So I mean, I think the goal and the reason why they are a little cheaper, on the pocket is so people can you can get a shoe without like having to break the bank on a decent shoe and put some miles on it, enjoy it, have some fun, support local American-based companies. That vibe. So check them out though, man, because there's people that put crazy miles on them before.
Shout out to accessibility. That's huge.
Yeah, for sure.
$85 is a price point that is pretty reasonable for most Americans. So yes, that's I applaud Atreyu for that ethos. That's great.
Yeah, and then so what do you want me to put? Okay, so I got my shoe, my turn, right?
Yeah, your turn.
I don't know where it's at on the thing. All right, so I got the. You're gonna have to do the thing. I've got the Brooks Levitate 5, right? Brooks Levitate 5. I've had them for a little bit now. Hadn't run in them yet, and because I just didn't. We're just gonna be honest here. I didn't think that I was going to love them. So I just kind of was holding off, ran in them for the first time. I think, I forget what day it was, maybe Thursday, and really, really liked the shoe. Really smooth ride, right up my alley. Really bouncy here. Really, when I put a shoe on nowadays, like I want it to be comfortable, like right away. Like I need a shoe to be comfortable, especially a shoe that's supposed to be a trainer and you can put miles on it, all that stuff. I need it to be comfortable on the foot. And then next is it like, if it's heavy, does it like move well when I'm out there? Like, I mean, there are some shoes that are heavier that just are great to me.
Yeah.
But does it move well? But this one is like super comfortable. It's actually pretty light when it comes to me, when it comes to like a workhorse trainer vibe. So it's right in that medium weight, and it just rolls well. It's very base. I mean, it's like a basic type shoe. It's nothing like real fancy about it, but I see why. Like, you see this a lot, like on the Brooks Pros. You see a lot of them wear these, and I could see I could easy runs for sure. I could do a long run, and then I could easily do like a easy run with strides in there, and then maybe like a moderate pace run as well. I wouldn't necessarily use these for tempo because we've been blessed enough to have other shoes to do that with. But I could see how this could work out for everything. I mean, at one point though, there people were racing and stuff like this. So it's not. I mean, they're just a good shoe. I like them a lot actually. So you will see these more often.
And being a little familiar with the Brooks lineup, I would say the Levitate is somewhere between the Ghost and the Glycerin. The Ghost is a little softer, a little squishier, and the Glycerin is a little snappier, maybe a little faster.
So, like, how do you think this compares to the Brooks Hyperion Tempo? I feel like it's a very similar midsole.
But maybe not as snappy.
And the upper is no, I mean, this is not as snappy, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay. And then the upper of this one is just much more like structured and kind of firm.
Yeah,
And so just weight. I think to me the difference is
that's
just
a
weight.
weight thing for
It's a
sure.
weight
Yeah,
thing. That's it.
yeah.
So
And
it's true.
a base model trainer is like a referee in football. If it's doing its job well, you won't realize it's there.
Yeah. You just
Yeah.
you just saying stuff so that you can end up on one of the breakout videos on Instagram.
Stop
You just
stop giving the people the inside baseball of it, bro. Relax. Relax. Jeez.
all right.
Jeez.
What's that?
All
What you
right,
got?
next up.
What you got there?
I got a shoe that Tommie doesn't have. Shout out. This is an older shoe too, by the way. So wow. This is an older shoe, so you probably won't you probably can find a shoe online somewhere on sale. And that's always a good thing. Bam. It is the Puma DV8 Nitro 1. So this is they have a DV8 Nitro
Yeah,
2 either
coming in.
yeah, it's on the way. I think it'll release in March, I think was the plan.
I think so.
So yeah, you've seen us with the DV8 Nitro 2, which is that bright green. This one is a little more stealth. It's the black and white colorway. It's similar to the DV8 Nitro 2. I'd say it is a little firmer. It is a little more substantive. It's a little more shoe than it seems like they stripped down the second version a little bit.
That has a plate in it though too, right?
No, I don't think this one. Does it?
I think so.
I thought the velocity. No. Okay, so the green one is the velocity.
Yeah.
This is the deviate.
Yeah, this doesn't have a plate in it.
Yeah, this one probably has a plate. This one feels like it has a plate in
it. And snap it.
Yeah. Plate just stabbed me in the chest. So yeah, I only ran on these. I ran 10 miles easy on the treadmill. They were a bit firm. This is, like I said, this is a little more shoe. The velocity is a bit more stripped down, sleeker profile. This one has a heel counter that comes up a little higher and is not like just there to be there. It actually has a little structure to it. I like the shoe. I definitely will take it out more. Cool looking shoe. This black and white colorway is pretty clean.
Yeah, they had like when they first came out, they had that like citrus type of like salmon pinkish whatever color.
Yeah, for sure.
That was kind of cool, and I think that you'll like those more outside than on the treadmill.
I think so too. I agree
because I ran in those. I ran in those before.
So the jury is still out, obviously, for how I feel about these in the long term. But I feel like I will be able to put quite a few miles on them. And yeah, first impression, solid shoe.
All right. So we want to talk about this one shoe that I ran in.
Yeah, I think you should talk about that one shoe that you ran in.
This one shoe that I ran in. Let's see what the comments are first.
We're not gonna talk about that comment.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to Alexis though, but
well, the Levitate 5 might be better.
Yeah. Maybe they made a upgrade.
Upgrades.
No, we ain't running from smoke. Alexis said on their list, the Levitate 4 were garbage. Sorry to say. I'm not sure whose list. Maybe my list.
And, whose?
Maybe your list. I don't know. But on somebody's list, they didn't like the Levitate 4. Maybe Alexis is saying her list. She doesn't like the Levitate 4.
I wonder.
Maybe the Levitate 5 is worth a shot if you believe in second chances. So
yeah. On a tray. I don't know where we're going with this one. We got shade for everybody. Everybody catching it. I knew I liked Alexis. All right, so yeah, Alexis. Well, let's just talk about this next shoe. If you don't like this next shoe, you're allowed to say it's trash as well. They made some good changes. All right, so this shoe I ran in today. It took a long time. I
got the banner, bro. Just talk.
I was almost against it. You know, I fought, and I just didn't think it was gonna be as all that it was. You know, that they were trying to make it out to be. It is the Nike Alpha Fly Next Percent version 1 because they haven't come out with a version 2. It is a shoe. It's a big shoe. It's a lot of shoe. It is a bouncy shoe. It is a loud shoe.
Boots.
It is a loud shoe. It is. I am not necessarily a big fan of it.
Watch your keep your words right, because you don't want Phil Knight knocking down the door of the basement. Phil
Man,
Knight in the
Phil
Nike
Knight,
vibe.
I like Phil Knight and all that he's done in the running community, but Phil Knight, and Phil Knight, you can knock on the door all you want to, bro. Like, I've seen pictures of him. Like, Phil Knight's old now, man. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do, Phil? Anyway, um,
Phil gonna
yo,
send the goons after you.
I know, yeah, Phil Knight probably got real guns. But the Italian guns. No, so look, this shoe I ran it today, and I'm gonna run it again before I if okay, I'm not thrilled with it like that. Like, I think it's a good shoe. I hope that I can run in it more often, like on easy runs, maybe some long runs that aren't like requiring much tempo. I just don't. I really, 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 really wanted to like the shoe, and I think that I will maybe if I keep running it a little bit more, because people did say that you have to get used to it. But it's a fairly comfortable shoe when you put the shoe on. I was really worried about. Remember, that was last week. I was kind of worried about the insole.
Yeah.
That's not even a thing. Like, once you start, like when you first put it on, you definitely feel it there, but then it goes away, and it's just fine. They are a very bouncy shoe. But I ran in the Vapor Flash for so long that, like, I thought that maybe that's what it was. I thought this was gonna be much different. I thought it was gonna be the only difference is it's just more shoe to me,
Yeah.
and that's kind of it. And it was rough, like rougher than like on turns. Even though it wasn't any tight turns today, just turns I could definitely tell I had less control of the turn than I would normally have. I'm gonna run it. Like, I don't think it's a bad shoe. I just don't. For the people that really love it, I just don't, I haven't hit that point yet. I'm gonna run it some more. Maybe the foam breaks down a little bit and gets a little more bouncier. But it wasn't any more bouncy to me than the Vaporflies. It just wasn't.
Yeah, and I mean, and it is a race shoe, and it is a marathon race shoe. So maybe you'll really start to get the benefits of what
like
that shoe has to offer, like later on in a race, once your legs are normally breaking down and your form is starting to break down a little bit. And they'll keep you together a little more. So,
and to give it some, like, and we're running on fairly tired legs at all times at this point anyway. So maybe, like, me looking for this shoe to do something at this point is probably inappropriate and unfair to the shoe. I mean, it's easy to ask a lot for a Nova Blast 2. It's easy to ask for a comfortable ride because that's what you're doing. You're easy running, and it's just supposed to be nice and smooth. But when you get, like, getting up to speed and you're, running on hills and you're asking, like, a shoe to say, oh, well, your legs won't be tired, then you already started the run tired. So it's like, what, I don't want to say anything bad about the shoe yet, but it's like, I think it's cool. Yeah. I just don't see, like, myself ever saying that it's better than a Vaporfly.
I mean, you had to take out a second mortgage on your house just to get them, so you better like them.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell my wife I like them. It's the best shoe I ever had.
I already know the answer to that.
Alexis, she
asking them hard hitting questions. She asking those. What's that one lady that used to? Man, wow. Why don't I know her name?
What?
The journalist, the lady on TV that asked the interview to, like, celebrities and.
Ayana?
No. She.
Man,
older white lady, man. What's her name?
I don't know, man.
Whatever. She used to be on ABC. I don't know if she still do it, but whatever, man. I fumbled that bad. My bad, man.
Alexis, she got a little spicy today, and we don't even know how to talk. So, do you like the Asics racers better at this point? Yes, I do. Than this, for sure. So, like, to me, the Metaspeed Sky and the Vaporfly are very, 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 very close. Two very different feels, but very close when it comes to performance wise. I don't think that I would pick this over the Metaspeed Sky, probably, like, ever. Did you just Google?
That's what I was talking about.
Barbara Walters. There we go.
That's who I was talking about.
So we're gonna change her name to Barbara Walters in the chat. Alexis, can you change your name to Barbara Walters?
All right, so we're at the 1 hour mark. Shoe of the week for me, the Atreyu base model. I really like this one. I didn't even mention that we ran a double on Tuesday, and I ran it both times. So shout out to Atreyu. I don't even know if we named a shoe of the week last week. We are slacking. We lacking. Hold us accountable. We will be better. I will be better. Both teams play hard. I'm sorry. I'll be better. Shoe of the week. Atreyu, the base model.
Does my shoe of the week have to be one that I talked about today?
The shoe of the week can be any shoe. It could be that pair of tap dance shoes that you got that's not in frame right now. It's really up to you. This is your show.
I don't understand why you gotta bring those shoes up. I said that off air.
That was off the record.
That was off air. That was so off the record. I said, "Can I tell you something in secret?" And you said, "Yeah, sure." Nova Blast 2 for me. Nova Blast 2 for me again.
Okay, sweet.
All right.
Carlos, shout out to Carlos. You just got the base model in the mail. Stoked to try it. I think you'll like them.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I think it's easy to to have a good shoe like that, and then the fact that it's fairly priced, and not even fairly priced, very good price.
Yeah,
it's just easier to like the shoe because you don't feel like you buy a $275 shoe. I mean, like it can't just be okay. Like it has to be good. Like it's got to be like, wow, this is amazing. And I just didn't, so I think you'll like the shoe, Carlos.
Yeah, it won't break your heart if you only run 5 times in a $85 shoe.
Yeah,
it won't break your heart to put them like into the lawnmower rotation.
Yeah, I mean, or like if you have the all whites, the white and gold, you just wear them once, don't mess up too much, and you can vibe out in those. You could put on a fit. I see myself in them. I look good in them with them.
I mean, maybe I wear them to Trader Joe's, but I ain't.
That's because you like extra.
I ain't getting off in no Atreyu, but you know what I'm saying. I look cool when I run in them. I look cool. I look cool in everything. You feel me?
See, like I had made a post the other day. I made a post the other day, like say has like running change, like how you dress on a normal day.
I was gonna comment on that too.
The answer for you is no. You
had
still,
to know.
Yeah, because just the other day you threw on them patent leather pointy toes that you got. I seen it. I was like, wow. I was like, dang, you came YG vibes.
black patent leather shoes with the white socks and the shorts.
I was like, wow, man. Like running hasn't changed you at all, Aaron. That's wild.
I've never changed. This is me every day.
So Alexis says she can't wait to get her Nova Blast 2 in the mail. She went on the podcast. No, if you don't like the Nova Blast, Alexis, I'm gonna say something. Oh, she's saying, she got them.
No, she said she can't wait to get them.
Oh,
that means she don't got them yet.
Oh wow, that's weird. Yeah, Alexis, DM me. I thought you should have already.
Tommie is the director of fulfillment for the PR project. So direct all inquiries.
I think she might be. I don't know. Maybe she's talking about my podcast. I don't know.
Either
anyway,
way,
so Alexis, if you get the Nova Blast 2 and don't like them, we're gonna ban you from this show. All right, Endorphin Pros have been my go-to for racing. Atreyu's got my attention though. For racing,
the artist, because the artist is the super shoe, right?
Yeah, the artist is a super shoe.
Yeah.
So I have.
It might be worth getting them.
Endorphin Pros are really good. The Atreyu's only downside is they're very very poppy, very bouncy. Only downside that I think they're gonna fix on the next iteration is the upper. It's the same exact upper as the base model, so it's not really not a lot of structure to it, But,
all right, let's get up out of here, man. Close it out for us. We're hour and 3 minutes in. Thank you everybody for showing up.
Yeah, thank you everybody for showing up. And make sure you set those big goals. Make sure and if you want to hit us up, talk about your goals, talk about or have any questions on how the smart analogy that Aaron talked about. Set those goals, be brave with those, stay consistent, and use whatever tools that are out there to kind of keep you going.
Yeah. We are 7 weeks out from the weekend of the Boston Marathon weekend.
Yeah, man. It's almost here.
It's gonna be fun, man. It's almost here. It's gonna be fun. We got 6 more shows. 6 more shows until then.
Yeah, you said something the other day. You said something the other day. He was like, we got like 4 more. What'd you say? Like 6 more long runs and 6 more workouts.
Yeah, and we
like,
did 2 of them since then. We did one of each since
one
then.
of each. Yeah. But all right, man. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. Tune in next week. Make sure you follow Aaron at Aaron
Aaron X Worldwide, WORLDWIDE on Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter too.
Oh, yeah,
I just talk about basketball mostly on Twitter.
He get crazy on Twitter. And then Tommie runs at TOMMIE_RUNZ. Follow us there. We love you guys. Thanks so much, UCAN, for the support and the fuel.
Connect with us on Strava too. We'd like to see what you guys are doing.
You do this a lot, so I think like I should do it too. There we go.
Love y'all.